Here's me overseas, across the pond by the Dover Peaks. I've smuggled myself into new nationality.
Hey, what's up guys? This is Halfway, broadcasting from the amazing Phnom Penh, Cambodia. I just want to say what's up to you guys. And I had a question on my YouTube channel regarding banking here. I thought I'd actually make like a pretty decent video that could be informative for you guys if you're coming here. So the person asked me if you come here, if you like have to get a local bank, or if you can just use your original nation of origins bank, or if like what's the best thing to do with banking. So I'll talk about like banking a little bit. I use a bank account here, and I also still have my US bank account. I use them together. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, definitely, if you come here, you can get a bank account. Even if you just come here, if you're here on like a 30-day, like just like a 30-day visa. I'm not sure if you're on a tourist visa, but if you're here on a business visa, you definitely can get a bank account. And then obviously anything more than that, you can also get a bank account. So the two major banks that I know of that foreigners use are Canada Bank and ABA Bank. So I use Canada Bank, and it's solely for logistical reasons. There's a Canada Bank like less than a block away from where I live, half a block away from where I live, so just by how close it is, it's just a lot easier for me to go there. However, depending on what you need it for, if you don't need it for anything other than holding your money, you know, Canada Bank will be just fine. But from what I gathered when I went to ABA Bank, I think they offer a little bit more if you need to do anything internationally. But like I said, I still have my American bank account open, so if I need to do anything internationally or online or anything, I can use my American account. So the difference is with the ABA and Canada. Well, let me talk about first what both of them. So I went to both banks and I asked them, you know, both what I need to open an account, all that kind of stuff. So they both basically needed the same things. So what you'll need is you will need either a letter or a contract from your employer to prove that you're working here. And then you will also need either like a letter or a lease from your apartment, wherever you're living, so you can prove that you are living here. So if you can prove you're living here and you prove you're working here, you can open a bank account. And then obviously you also need your passport. So those are the only things that you actually need to have to open a bank. If you can prove you work here, prove you live here, and you have your passport, you can open a bank account. Now, in both of them, there were differences between the type of bank accounts. So if your visa expires in less than 6 months from when you open your bank account, you can only get a I don't know if it's called like a tourist bank account or whatever it's called. But basically the only difference between them is if you have like a permanent bank account or like a tourist bank account, is if you have a tourist bank account, you have to pay a 15% tax on all of your interest accrued through the bank account. So at both banks, I believe the interest rate was 0.075%. So essentially on that 0.075%, if you only have the tourist version of the bank account, you have to pay 15% of whatever interest you accrue. So unless you're harboring millions of dollars here at 0.075%, even if you're making whatever, a decent amount of money, your interest isn't going to be that high, and 15% of that is going to be low. But then if you have like the local, like the same rate that the local people get, that's 7%. You have to pay a 7% tax on your interest rate. So the interest rate stays the same, but the tax rate goes from 7% to 15%. But again, not on your total amount in the bank, just how much interest you have accrued in the bank account. So the major differences between them, ABA, in my opinion, would be a better choice. Not to go against the bank that I'm using, but again, I use that bank because it's very close to me. But ABA Bank offers, it's just like you get like a regular, I don't know if it's a debit card or a credit card, whatever they call it. I guess they would call it a debit card or banking card. But on that card, it has like a security number on the back, and you can use it just like you would like if you're in the U.S. or whatever. So if you want to order something online, you can put in, you know, your account number, your expiration date, and the security code on the back, and you can, you know, use it for online banking or for like a PayPal or something. With Canadian Bank, they don't have an expiration date. They give you a what date you signed up. There's no expiration date. So if you try to do something online, you can't put in an expiration date because it doesn't exist. And more so, they don't have on their cards the like the 3-digit security feature. I hope that bank's safe. Like giving all this information, but I hope my bank account's safe. But yeah, so if you're just like, again, to go back, if your only objective is to, you know, you're getting paid here in cash from your school or whatever you're doing here, and you're getting paid in cash, and you just want somewhere to keep your bank, or you want somewhere to keep your money because you don't want to keep it at home or just carry wads of cash on you because that's just a terrible idea, then yeah, Canadian Bank is fine. But if you want to use your bank account for doing things like, hey, I want to, you know, order, I don't know, videos and download them on my computer, and I need to, you know, do something online, or I need to, you know, whatever, order something from the internet and have it delivered somewhere, blah, blah, blah. ABA is going to be a better choice because as far as I'm aware, maybe there's some other service that I don't know about with Canadian Bank that's very possible, but in the standard format of what I've received, there's no way for me to, like, for example, I have PayPal, I can't like link that to my PayPal or anything. Now, as I mentioned also, like, so I transfer money back home. I've mentioned this in other videos. Every month I transfer money back home for my daughter, and then also for I have some other bills that I still have to pay at home, so I transfer them back to my U.S. bank account. So the positive about that is I can do that, like, no problem. The negative about it is I get charged $15 from Canadian Bank. They charge me $15 to transfer the money or wire the money. And then upon receiving it, my bank in the U.S. also charges me another $15. So anytime I send money home, I have to send $30 extra on top of what I want to send because I'm getting, you know, I'm getting housed on like both ends. But yeah, I mean, I'd recommend having a bank account if you come here. If you're gonna stay here, like I said, like carrying a lot of money on you is not a great idea. Oh, is this not? It is recording. For 1 second, I've done this before. For 1 second, I didn't see the time on the timestamp, and I thought it wasn't recording. And I've done that at least once or twice, and whatever, I didn't like it. But anyway, I'm recording. So, but now I completely lost track of what I was talking about. But yeah, so again, yeah, so if you are, you know, carrying a lot of money on you is not a wise thing to do. You know, even leaving your money in your apartment, like, you never know, like, you never know, like I've talked about in the other video, like, ultimately I feel safe here and everything's cool. But again, like, I mean, things happen. Like, I don't know, I wouldn't want to leave a lot of money anywhere. So I would definitely recommend getting a bank account. And there's, I mean, I see other banks, but, Canadian Bank has branches all over, ABA Bank has branches all over, and other banks that I see are called, like, you know, like Business Bank of Cambodia or Cambodia People's National Bank. So I don't know, like, if foreigners can open accounts in those banks. I don't know. I would recommend going to Canada or ABA Bank. And even that, like I said, like the Canadian Bank's closer to me, but I have an ABA Bank maybe 5 blocks from me. And there's an ABA ATM just down the road from me, so it's not like they're all over, or at least, you know, in, you know, all areas of the city. I just lucked out that I happen to be very close to the bank that I'm close to. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about banking. And oh, actually, so even just the process. So when I went in to open my account, I would say it probably took me a good solid hour, maybe an hour and a half between when I actually walked into the bank. You get, like, they have like a computer and you sign in and you get like a ticket number, and then they just, you know, serve you when your time is up. And then, you know, you have to sign a bunch of paperwork and fill out forms and, you know, all that good stuff. So I would say don't, like, just think you're going to run in and be like, hey, I'm going to open up a bank account real quick and be in and out. Like I said, it took me at least an hour, maybe even an hour and a half from the time I walked in until the time I walked out. And then it took them, I think it took them like 3 to 5. I think it's like 3 to 5 business days. You have to wait till you actually get your like debit card. So you know, I deposited some money in the account. You have to open your account with at least $10, and that $10 has to stay in your account. So even when you put in that $10, let's say you put in $100. At that point, you only have a balance of $90 because you have to leave $10 in your account as long as your account is open. But other than that, you know, make sure you know you're planning that's gonna take you a little bit of time, and it costs. You have to pay at least $10 to get into your to start an account. And that was the same with both locations. They both had relatively almost the exact same information. But yeah, so that's banking here for you guys in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. This is Halfway broadcasting from around the world in Phnom Penh. Peace out, guys. Be easy.